I read it somewhere that chronic stress affects how fast you age, and it was mind-blowing for me, and it should be for you too. How stress shorten your lifespan. Now before making this video, I read exact 29 research papers to understand the relationship between stress and a lot of other health issues, such as maybe premature aging, immune system related issues, and a lot more. Before we get into more details, have a look at this report by UN Labour Agency, which says stress, overtime, disease contributes to 2.8 million workers' death every year. Does it buzz you? Now just hold your thought and watch. Now let's start by understanding the science behind stress. Okay, when your body perceives a stressful situation, it responds by releasing a number of hormones. The main stress hormones are adrenaline and cortisol. Now adrenaline increases your heart rate, elevates your blood pressure, and boosts energy supplies to your body, which enhances your brain's uses of glucose and the availability of the substance that repair tissues. Now these responses are intended to give you an energy boost needed for a quick response to danger. However, when these hormones are continuously released due to chronic stress, it can lead to multiple health problems. There are basically two types of stress. One is acute stress, another one is the chronic stress. Acute stress is short-term stress, but chronic stress is long-term stress. Now acute stress is good for your body during certain situations. It assists us by boosting your immune system and increases awareness and focus. Whereas chronic stress, it's responsible for multiple issues in your body. Now just to name a few are related to cardiovascular disease and immune system. I'm not saying that the stress is the sole reason for these types of disease, but it contributes a lot. Research shows that almost every system in your body can be affected by chronic stress. When chronic stress goes unreleased, it suppresses your body's immune system, and ultimately what it does? Manifest in illness, right? Now, one can only wonder what would happen to your body if it remained in a stressful situation. Now, fortunately, under normal circumstances, 3 minutes after the threatening situation is over or the real or imagined danger is removed, the fight or flight response subsides and the body relaxes and returns to its normal status. Now, during this time, heart rate, blood pressure, muscle tension, digestion, metabolism, and the immune system, everything returns to normal. Now let's talk about premature aging. The American Institute of Stress investigated the degenerative process of cells and concluded that most health problems are caused by stress. Now you must have seen people who look older than they are. It's because most of the time stress has a lot to do with premature aging. Now, researchers at Heidelberg University Hospital conducted a study where they subjected a doctor to a job interview, which made it more stressful when they forced him to solve a complex math problem. Now you know the relationship between a doctor and a mathematics. Afterwards, they took a blood sample and found out his antibodies reacted to stress the same way they reacted to viruses, bacteria, basically all types of pathogens, which eventually damages your healthy cells and leading to a reducing lifespan, basically killing us fast. Now your body itself starts damaging your healthy cells. Too bad, right? Well, similar study at University of California where they took the data from 39 women who had high level of stress due to illness of one of their children and compared it with a woman with a healthy children and found out that stress promotes cellular aging by weakening cell structure, which affects cellular regeneration, basically less number of new cells and faster aging. So how do you age? Your body reduces producing new cells. And this is how stress kills you. Now let's look at immune system. The immune system is like bread and butter of keeping yourself healthy. So, as per the paper published in National Library of Medicine, short-term stress actually boosts immune system as it prepares itself to meet and overcome a challenge such as adaptive response preparing for an injury or an infection. But long-term stress causes too much wear and tear and the system will break down, especially if you have a little control over events and ultimately manifest in life-threatening illness. Now the science in this is, whenever you feel stress, it raises catecholamine and suppressor T cells levels. So catecholamine, it's a neurohormone which is important in stress response. High levels causes high blood pressure, which can lead to headaches, sweating, pounding of heart, and pain in the chest and anxiety. So which eventually suppresses your immune system and raises the risk of viral infection. Now when your immune system is weak, you're definitely going to catch an illness, right? Now this is in brief. If you want me to cover more about the immune system and how do we keep it in the best state, let me know in the comment section. Now let's talk about asthmatics. Stress leads to release of histamine. It's a chemical compound. Now because of the release of the histamine, it's possible that muscles around your airways often tightens. And when this happens, the airways becomes narrower, which blocks the flow of the air and makes it harder for you to breathe. Now for some of you, the scientific name for this is bronchoconstriction. I'll just name it here. Now let's talk about diabetes, peptic ulcers and depression. So you are stressful, then there will be increase the risk of diabetes, especially in overweight individuals, since psychological stress also alters insulin needs. And stress also alters the acid concentration in stomach, which can lead to peptic ulcers and stress ulcers. Now chronic stress can also lead to plaque buildup in your arteries, especially if you combine it with a high fat diet. This is known as something, okay? I don't know how to pronounce this, but here is the name. Now, the correlation between stressful life events and psychiatric illness is stronger than the correlation with medical or a physical illness. Now, the relationship of a stress with psychiatric illness is the strongest, which is then followed by a depression. Now, genetic factors may also influence how individuals respond to stress. Now, some people may be more predisposed to stress-related conditions due to their genetic makeup. Now, let's try to see the effect of stress on performance. Now, acute stress, there is acute stress and the chronic stress. Acute stress, it increases speed in decision making and get you an immediate action mode. It also gives you a competitive advantage in case of athletics. Whereas chronic stress, it reduces your performance. Now look at this graph. Now it is estimated that 80 to 90% of the industrial accidents are related to personal problems and employees' inability to handle stress. Now, the European Agency for Safety and Health at Work reported that about 50% of the job absenteeism is caused by stress. And I have noticed a trend where people in my circle are taking leaves from work to catch up on pending tasks just because they are stressed about finishing the assigned work. And yes, I get it that some form of stress at work is good for you, but not after a certain limit. Now I want you to have a look at these numbers where on a scale from 1 to 10, here is what these people rated. Now here is another study that showed the top cause of stress. Money at 64% and family responsibilities at 67%. Now another study published in the journal shows a nearly 50% increased risk of early death due to chronic stress and depression. The Center of Disease Control and Prevention of United States estimates that stress accounts about 75% of the doctor visits. This involves an extremely wide span of physical complaints, including but not limited to headache, back pain, heart problems, upset stomach, and sleep problems too. Now enough of the medical terms and a lot of technicalities. Now let's talk about solution. Now that we understand the gravity of the situation, let's discuss some tips for managing stress. And if I miss anything, please add it in the comment section and let's discuss how every one of you deals with stress or anxiety. Please share at least one tariqa in comment section. Now the number one solution is, I talk about mindset. Everything starts here. So what we do says a lot about our mindset. So I have this PLP model. It's people, life and problems, but we are gonna just cover people and problems in brief today. Now, when we talk about problems, it's how do you deal with problems at hand? Do you like to keep your problems in your backpack, or are you the kind of person who just solves their problems no matter how big? You take some actions to get rid of the issue at hand. If you do so, it means you have action-oriented thinking. Now you have to think critically about these questions, and you definitely think about the solution as you clicked on this video. It means either you are trying to get away from stress, or somebody else around you is having, or maybe you are preparing yourself for future. Now my suggestion is you should have a problem-solving thinking. You should critically analyze the problems and, more importantly, reasons behind it. As they say, understanding the problem is half the solution. So change your mindset about problems and reduce the levels of stress you are having. Now let's talk about people. So people who gets anxious or stressed because of the people's action around them. So you have to have a stoic. Stoic means basically you who doesn't get affected by people's action. You have to have a stoic mindset about people. From this, I can recall a beautiful quote about this as ships don't sink because of the water around them. Ships sink because of the water that gets in them. So don't let what's happening around you get inside you and weigh you down. See, people do what they do. It's a very cruel world. And at the same time, it's full of kind people. Now, building a strong support system of family and friends is an amazing way to deal with stress. Now let's talk about mindfulness. So incorporating mindfulness practices can be a game changer. Research indicates that mindfulness meditation can reduce symptoms of stress by 58%. It helps break the stress cycle by fostering a self-awareness and providing a more healthier coping mechanism. As I'm always at your disposal, just let me know if you need more mindfulness techniques, which I personally use, in the comment section, and we'll create another video for that. Now the third point is regular exercise and a healthy diet. Now, regular exercise has been shown to reduce stress hormones and improve mood. Now, I have never seen myself getting out of the gym with a bad mood, but been in a bad mood before going to the gym and coming out feeling fresh and happy. Now, maintaining a healthy diet are most crucial step of all. You are what you eat. Your body is a machine, and if you fuel your car with a bad petrol, how is it going to react? It's not going to work. It's going to break. So in the same way, your body is going to break down. So get yourself to the gym, any type of workout. You have to move your body, that's all. That's a wrap, guys. This is Deepak Moore, signing off. Have a good day and see you in the next.